Hello guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. So today's reading, Joint Messages from Baphomet and Lucifer. Let's get into, let's start with the main tarot. Yeah, let's start with the main tarot. Thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. Okay. So here's what they both have to say. We have the Seven of Swords. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Death. And we have the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. So there's this message of like expecting the unexpected. Like maybe you guys are worried that things aren't going to plan. Maybe you just feel extremely stressed out. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. You guys are like really stressed out. There's just been a lot of stuff going on in your life, I'm feeling. And I feel like a lot of things have like ended, especially with like the death energy here. A lot of things have died in your life. Okay, like something about like maybe some type of technology, computer, phone, something like that, breaking. There's been a lot of like things just like breaking and just going away, you know, maybe a car broke down, that type of energy, and you just kind of feel tired, you feel annoyed, you don't understand what's happening. But I feel like there's like this unexpected energy of like blessings coming in. Like you just don't know that you're about to get rained on. You don't know that the blessings are about to like come in full force. You just don't know what's like awaiting. You don't know what's waiting for you. And I feel like a lot of this is going to be financial, especially with like, you know, this pentacle energy that we have. There's going to be a lot of financial support coming in. There's also going to be like just a replacement of some things that needed to go. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that needed to die so you could vibrate on the energy that you want to vibrate on, you know? Like some things, they just don't vibrate on that energy, so they had to go. You know, they had to die. So I feel like that's kind of the energy that I'm getting here. Like there's a lot of blessings coming in that you're just not expecting. And you're gonna be very pleased. I feel like this might be shared with somebody. Maybe it could be highlighting you and your spirit guides, but this is going to be unexpected. You don't know when it's coming in. You don't know necessarily fully what it is because, you know, we are highlighting the energy of money here, but you don't know how much money is coming in. And you don't know like what else is coming in, you know, besides just money, because there's multiple different things I'm sensing, especially with the Nine of Pentacles, something that you can enjoy. So there's prosperity and you guys need to look up because things are getting better. Okay, so let's start with what Baphomet has to say. He gives the Hangman. He gives the Moon. And we have Two of Wands and we have Ace of Cups, okay? Move that hair out the way. Yeah, you guys feel frozen. You feel just kind of stuck in life. You feel like things aren't really progressing the way that you want it to. Maybe it's just like you're unsure of where to go next. You're not quite sure of like what path to take. You're not quite sure which path you should go down. Maybe like there's going to be a revelation. Probably within like sleep. Maybe it's time to like start listening to the calling of the soul. Listening to what you want instead of like what somebody else would want. Here, let me mute my TV because it's low-key kind of distracting me. Like, I'm hearing like several voices in my ear. Like, just be quiet. Be quiet, boy. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna turn it down to 0 because it's not, the mute button isn't working. But okay. Yeah, I feel like you guys are uncertain of the path that is currently playing out for you. It's kind of scary, but I do feel like whatever you're meant to do is going to reveal itself to you within dreams, within visions. It's going to be very intuitive, and you're just going to find yourself naturally going down the path that you're meant to go. And I also feel like, you know, the Two of Wands is the reason why you're in this hangman state. The reason why you're frozen right now is because, like, the world is trying to push you towards the path that's calling to you, the path that's actually right for you. Like, I feel like you're trying to take a path that's maybe easier, or you're just doing something that, like, you know, is not necessarily what you want, but you're just doing it because you have no other choice, or you feel like you have no other choice, but there is another choice. And the Two of Wands, like, represents this, like, this voyage. This voyage to the path that's meant to be. Okay. Maybe there's, like, new people on that path. And there's many blessings that will unfold on that path. If you take the path that's easier, you're not going to be able to meet some of these people. You know, you're not going to be able to have these partnerships or, you know, gain these blessings. So maybe that's also probably why, like, this death energy is here. Like, you need to release what's not meant for you. You need to release the path that isn't meant for you and go down the path that's for you. And so, yeah, you had to freeze. You had to pause so you could, you know, reroute. Okay, he gives us Rebel. So you're not meant to do things normally. You guys are always trying to do things, like, normally, and it's just not something you're meant to do. You're a rebel. See, we do have, like, this possibility for new relationships on this path that's calling to you. Maybe a twin flame. But there's a lot of partnerships that await you on this path. We have spy and we have knowledge, okay? Yeah, so coming back to the whole entire rebel energy, stop choosing the path that isn't right for you just because it's easier. Choose the one that, like, actually serves your soul. Even if it's, like, weird to other people. You know, not everyone's going to necessarily agree with what it is that you're desiring. And you're gonna have to get comfortable being rebellious. Because I feel like some of you guys play by the rules too much. And maybe that's also kind of why you're, like, confining yourself to this storyline instead of making your own. Because you're following the rules. You're just doing what is expected of you. But you're not really actually answering the calling of your soul. And this path aligns with, you know, some soulmates, you know, twin flame, perhaps. I also feel like maybe one of these, like, beings one of the beings popping up in this reading perhaps is, like, already aware of you, but you aren't aware of them. Maybe this is some spirit. Like, I feel like the spy card kind of reminds me of, like, aliens and stuff like that. So maybe this being is extraterrestrial. one of the spirits or energy that you're going to meet with on your path. And there's a lot of knowledge that will be given to you from this being. And perhaps some of you guys have already crossed paths with this spirit or being. And there's knowledge that you can use from that experience to move you forward. Okay. We have Rajid, the magical key. We have Lilith and Luna Moth Goddess. Okay. Dog barking confirmation when I pulled out Lilith. Maybe that's the spirit that some of you guys are going to meet on this path. Lilith. Okay. I feel like Baphomet's telling you guys to start prioritizing your passions. Maybe some of your hobbies. Your hobbies are healing. And some of you are distracted from them. Like you forgot about them, or you're just not really creating anymore. You're not enjoying them anymore. And I feel like those hobbies could bring forth some type of knowledge in itself. Like when you're creating, like you're connecting to past lives. But I also feel like maybe when you're like sewing or if you're crocheting, if your hobbies push you into like this like meditative state, that's like when you're getting the strongest like downloads. That's when you're able to hear the messages from the spirits. And you have to be aligned with that type of energy to be able to, get the spiritual downloads that you need to hear. And Lilith's here and the Rebel cards here. Those are both cards of rebellion. You guys need to stop defining yourself by what people want you to be. You need to stop always following other people's rules and follow your own. And if you're going to be like learning more about your spirituality, I guess take the path that is right for you. Don't take the path that other people want you to take when it comes down to your spirituality. Because I feel like you might feel pressured to be a certain way or to be a type of witch that you don't want to be because of what others do and what others recommend. But you need to answer the calling of yourself and do what you want. So there's a lot of spiritual answers for where you should go, how you should progress. And you can find that in just your meditative state. You can find that in, your sleep at night. But most importantly, you'll find that when you align with your truth, with the path that you want deep in your heart, not the path that others want. Okay, so that's what I'm getting from that. Let's pull Demon of the Day and some keywords from Baphomet. Okay. What message does Baphomet have for the collective? Okay, he gives us Furkas. Your ability to see into the future is strong. You must not be afraid to look. Okay, you guys have psychic gifts. You need to start using them. And that kind of that reminds me of the Two of Wands. You know the path that's right for you. The path that you're supposed to follow. Take that path. Okay, see what keywords he has. What keywords does Baphomet have for the collective? Okay, so Baphomet gives us identity, a spell will do the trick, you're magical and beautiful, and number synchronicities. Okay, so yes, with the identity card, you know, that's a confirmation. Like, you need to start following the path that is for you. You know, start listening to your truth, start feeling comfortable in your own personal identity. And it's time to start amping up the spell work, or, you know, getting back to the altar and doing more spells, because I feel like that could bring some type of movement in your life. That could also maybe, you know, I guess help you find your truth again. You know, when you're at your altar, when you're practicing, I feel like that could help you find your truth. He reminds you that you are magical and you are beautiful. I agree. And he primarily is communicating with you guys through number synchronicities. Okay, so you need to start paying attention to some of the number synchronicities, because they do mean something. Okay, so that's what Baphomet has to say. Let's see what Lucifer has to say for his portion of the message. He gives 7 of Pentacles. He gives 3 of Cups. He gives the High Priestess. And the King of Wands. Okay. King of Wands. I can't read. Okay, well. Lucifer tells you to start, I guess, now's a good time to amp up the manifestation. Maybe something about, like, manifestation tips, like some type of YouTuber who gives manifestation tips. Some of their tips would be, like, really helpful for you. There's a lot of manifestation tips online that you should try out, because I feel like that could really help. And it's time to start really making those steps towards the future that you want. Yes, there's like this whole entire energy of gathering with others. Maybe gathering with your spirit guides more often. Gathering with other witches. Maybe some of you guys have manifestation tips to share yourself. That could be very beneficial for the people in your circle. And if not, like, if you don't have a circle, or you just don't really think it would be, then maybe what I mean by that is, like, sharing that online. Something about maybe sharing it on Tumblr. Because I feel like Tumblr has, like, really cool, like, witches. I like Tumblr witches. That's just me personally. I'm into the Tumblr witches, you know what I'm saying? They're cool people. Maybe you feel comfortable in those type of spaces, you know? Don't go on Twitter. That's what I'm hearing. And with the High Priestess, maybe it's like, ooh, okay, maybe like some of you guys have some type of psychic business idea. Maybe that's the path. Maybe that's the path that, you know, Baphomet was talking about. Like, you guys are so gifted spiritually, and people might doubt, you know, your abilities. People might doubt your, I guess, business idea. Especially if it's like very spiritual, people might feel like it's like stupid, or it's just like, you know, silly, it's a waste of time, it's not going to work out. And I feel like it's something that would work, because you guys are like the High Priestess. You're very intuitive. And, you know, with the High Priestess and the moon, it's like you guys have a lot of messages coming in that you need to pay attention to. You need to start writing in your book of shadows. And you need to start meditating on some of these dreams that you're having. You need to start um, taking in the signs and actually interpreting them, because there's a lot of information that's coming in, and you need to take note because it's helpful, obviously, to your life. And there's going to be success in this business idea that you guys are having, or whatever it is that you guys are trying to achieve here. It's definitely going to be successful with the King of Wands. Like, it's going to be amazing. You're going to be on fire. It's going to be like a whole hot streak of like abundance is what I'm getting. So start planning towards doing that, because that is, a part of your soul's calling. Okay, see? The Prophet. You guys literally can read the future. You guys are so spiritually gifted. You know exactly what you're talking about. We have elephant protection. Maybe some of you guys are afraid that, maybe you're afraid that you will be taken advantage of. Maybe something like you're afraid about like sharing your gifts with others because something bad could happen. You're going to be fine. I also feel like the elephant card is like highlighting that, this is backed by your spirit guides. Nothing can fail. Your gifts need to come to the light. The knowledge, the information you have needs to come to the light. Because you guys are shutting your mouth. You choose to be silent instead. You choose to just play it safe. You don't share the things that are close to you, like your psychic gifts or like, your tarot cards, because you just don't want people to judge you. Or maybe you feel like somebody could attack you or, take advantage of you in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's both, but you need to start opening your mouth and sharing your knowledge, because you guys are spiritual teachers if you're attracted to this reading and if this is resonating with you. Okay, so open your mouth. Share the visions that you have, because you guys are the prophet. You guys have so much knowledge, in your blood. You can read other people's bloodlines. You're gifted. And, coming back to the whole entire Lilith thing, like, some of you guys are meant to align with Mother Lilith on your path. And you can only align with her energy if you start taking your psychic gifts seriously. Because maybe that's where her energy comes to play. And, if you're attracted to this reading with Baphomet and Lucifer, then obviously these are your spirit guides, and they are protecting you. And there's nothing to be afraid of, okay? We have poetic justice, the judge, creative creature of water, creative expression, the huntress, soul awakening, and he finally gives you the griot, bliss. Yeah, I feel like you guys would be so much happier if like you were just like doing what it is that you want. You guys are just so scared that other people will take advantage of you, or somehow like there's just like this energy of like fear that people won't take you seriously or like do something bad to you if they figure out that you're a witch or a magician, and that's not going to happen and everything's going to be okay. And maybe there's something about like your energy putting people in place, which is interesting. Like you having some type of order to achieve here. And there's more to understand about who you are as a magician, who you are as a psychic. And a lot of that is unfolding. It unfolds through creative expression. It unfolds through painting, through art, through music for some. And you need to have your head up. You need to keep your head up, because there's so much to be excited for, to expect. Okay? So let's pull the demon of the day and then keyword cards from Lilith, Lucifer. Okay? What message does Lucifer have for the collective? Okay, he gives you Vepar. Resentments festering below the surface can poison your daily life. Let go. Sorry, I can't see because it's kind of dark and I don't have my glasses on. Let go of those things that no longer serve you. Okay. Time to start letting go of that fear. Time to start letting go of other people's judgment of you. Because people will judge. That's just how life is. It isn't pleasant, of course, but, you know, people are going to judge. Okay, what keywords does Lucifer have for you? Okay, so we have temptation. You know you want this. Not alone. What do you think? Come to your altar and physical manifestation of. Okay. I have interesting little messages within these keywords. Okay, obviously, whatever you guys are desiring, you're going to have to answer one way or another, so stop resisting. You obviously have a very present spiritual team that you can talk to at your altar. Maybe something about appearing physically, like one of your spirit guides appearing physically. But also, maybe something that you have been desiring is appearing physically. And you should look forward to it. And it's time to start, you know, trusting your intuition, trusting what your soul is saying. You know, what do you think is asking you, what do you think? What is it that you want to do? What are you thinking? What path do you want to go down? It's up to you. And I feel like that's what Lucifer's saying. And then, you know, look at this. We have a spell will do the trick and come to your altar. So it's time to start, you know, practicing at your altar more because some of you guys have been absent for a minute. Okay. So that is the reading from Baphomet and Lucifer. If you guys enjoyed this message, please feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, comment down below. And if you guys feel called to, you can donate me a gift through my throne wishlist link in the description. I love you guys so much. Take care and goodbye.